It's been a while, but we are here, back to our bread and butter, and doing a tire change on the Commander Mini.
Let's start!
These are the tools you'll need to do a tire change on the Commander Mini. A 3mm and 4mm hex, a Phillips PH2, as well as tire valve core remover and tire spoons. We're going to start by removing the pads. And now we're going to go ahead and remove the headlight, taillight, as well as all of the roll cages on the top here. So all of the top roll cages here on the front and the back are held on by 4mm hex bolts. And then this top bar, the grab handle, is held on by 3mm. Now on each side of this handlebar, there are two 3mm screws that hold this in place. Now for the taillight, we're just going to remove the left screw because we're going to remove this battery pack from the wheel in order to get access to the tire. And the same thing with the headlight, we're going to remove the two screws from this left battery pack. So after loosening some of these Phillips, what you can do is you can pull the trolley handlebar to release it from the wheel. Next, we're going to remove the 12 Phillips screws in order to remove the control board cover. So we're going to unplug the batteries, the two battery cables for the side of the pack that we're going to remove. And what we can do is we can unplug the control board and then drain the capacitors. So now that we're going to remove this pack, what we're going to do is we're going to flip the wheel so that it's resting on the right side, and that will allow us to remove the battery pack from the left. So we're going to remove these two with a flathead screwdriver. And I've also noticed that we've lost one of our screws down here, so we'll have to replace that when we put it back together. So you'll want to get your 4mm hex to remove these 4 bolts to release the battery packs. So now you'll want to grab your Phillips, and we'll be removing these 4 Phillips screws. Now at this point you'll be able to pull your battery pack. What you'll want to do is to slide it to the bottom of the wheel a little bit and then pull up. And then if your battery cables are here connected by silicone, you'll have to break that silicone as such. Now, if you do have another surface, what you can do is you can flip the battery pack onto this surface while you do the tire change, so you don't have to pull the battery terminals all the way out. So what we need to do now is to remove this shock from the wheel, And how we're going to do that is first to unhook it from the mudguard with the 2 Phillips screws. Now that that is able to move freely, we're going to release these 4 bolts as well as these 2 4 mils there. And these 4 right here. I did forget these 2 other screws here, which are Phillips, on the other side of the mudguard. With all those screws removed, you should be able to slide the collar out, as well as to slide the shock out of the clamp. Now, once you've done your tire change and you're ready to put your wheel back together, there is this stainless steel spacer or washer that you'll be putting here in where the axle is. Just make sure you don't forget it. Now you'll want to grab your shock and thread it back through. Once you've got it to the point where it touches the top, before you put anything down, we'll want to grab the bottom portion and slide it back in. Now, when you're sliding this back in, it might contact the mudguard, so just make sure that you pry a little bit so that it goes on top of the mudguard. When putting the motor bolts back in, just make sure you reapply your blue Loctite. Make sure all 4 are threaded in without much resistance before you go and tighten them down. Now you'll want to go and locate your 4 screws for the mudguard. They're these small Phillips that are countersink. Now you'll have to kind of maneuver this mudguard a little bit to make sure the holes line up. So now that we're about to put these 2 screws back and tighten the suspension down, before we do that, you'll want to try to look and make sure that this is as flat as you can see with your eyes. Because if it's not flat, it'll be hard to align with the battery packs later. Now a good trick is that there are these black holes down here, and you can compare both sides to see if they match up in the same vertical distance to the bottom line. So, okay, now that this is pretty flat, I can go ahead and tighten this down. Now the next step is to flip the battery pack back onto the wheel. Just make sure your battery cables are out of the way and not being crimped. It will help to kind of pull them out the other side, just to make sure they're not stuck. There you go. Now you'll want to drop it onto this point so that you can slide it in the bottom and get it to the holes line up. And then make sure you do one full final tug on your battery cables to make sure everything's snug. Now before we screw in the battery packs to the control board, what I like to start with are these rods because it makes it easier to line things up. So if you look into the hole, you'll be able to see whether or not it lines up. You may need to lift the battery pack a little bit. And if you get it successfully, it'll go all the way in. Now you'll want to get your flathead screwdriver and screw it in. Now, once you have that in, you'll want to take a look at these holes to make sure that you have put them in properly and that it is flat for you to be able to screw it and tighten down. If these are not, if they don't look proper, then what you'll need to do is remove the battery pack again and rotate that shock assembly to make sure that these line up. Once these 4 screws are in, then I'll go ahead and mount the last 4 4mm hex screws. Once you've secured all those screws, we can now flip the wheel upwards. We can start by plugging the batteries back into the charge board. And then we'll plug the motherboard back up. Now we're going to put the motherboard cover back on. I like to pull this charge port cover off just so you can make sure that the holes are lined up properly. Now what I like to do is I like to pre-thread all the screws before I tighten them down. With the cover tightened, we can replace the charge port and start to mount the lights back onto the wheel. Now with the front handle, there are 2 sides. There is a side with a channel, so you'll want that channel to face inwards, with the flat side facing outwards. Now the only thing to keep in mind when putting the front and rear handles back on is the fact that there is an extreme bull engraving here. So if you're OCD, you'll want to make sure that that is facing the right way out. And the same thing with the back handle. There's an extreme bull engraving. So make sure you have it facing the right way up and then screw it down. Last but not least, we'll put our foam pads back on. And that brings us to the end. So the wheel's fully assembled. Now the only things to really keep an eye out for is the alignment of that suspension. Because if you don't align it properly, you can cross-thread some screw bases or have a lot of trouble putting it back in. So just be very careful to make sure that it's perfectly level, or as level as you can. And the rest of it's fairly straightforward, especially when you compare it to the older wheels.
Like the V11 or...
Even the V12 or the VXM, like this wheel was surprisingly straightforward and quite simple. And not too many screws.
And there's a lot of missing screws.
There are a lot of missing screws.
Okay, so that's the end. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. You may also turn your ding-dong-ding-dong to receive notification of our latest content. Bye bye!